Hi Leo, welcome to your January 2020 General Tarot reading. It's Raina here. So I've got a new spread for the new decade. I remember when I was a little kid and they would always have those recaps of the year, and I used to love that because it was so fun seeing everything that had happened. And it's really quite amazing that we've gone through another decade, isn't it? Okay, well that's very interesting with this particular set of cards here. Some of these cards I keep getting over and over again. It's so weird. It happens sometimes. I should always put that card up there because so your life right now is connected to the Page of Swords. So this is a card that speaks about somebody who may be kind of, for some reason, trying to gather information. I mean, there may be like something that you're researching, I guess, or even, I guess it could be somebody who is a student who's researching and studying. But in some cases, this can be like specific information that you're trying to document or what have you. So in the workplace, for instance, it can feel like I have to document this boss and the way that they're treating me. We do have these authority figures around you. The King of Wands, the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords. So there may be they're in the upright position, but I still wouldn't necessarily trust them. You may feel like you're playing with the big boys here in the workplace. What brought you to this point? I mean, you know, sometimes it can even be paranoia, but it's like definitely suspicions. And what brought you here is the King of Wands. Now, this may be the head honcho, and this person, because it's Wands energy, and of course you're a Leo, so you have that too. This person, I would even say in the upright position, may be quite the center of the universe, so to speak. Everything goes through this person. I don't like to read this as a negative individual because it is in the upright position, but we could say some of those qualities, if we looked at it from the reversed position, would be bullying, control, trying to gain control over the situation, maybe overbearing. And because you're also a Leo, I mean, because you are, well, I said also a Leo. I don't know if this is specifically a Leo, but fire energy. There may be that clash of egos even. And this person, you may feel like they are taking advantage of their position in order to boss you around. Even though if they are your superior, you may feel like there's like some kind of a violation because you think that they are supposed to be the one who is giving you a certain amount of freedom. Like maybe your position is actually much more open-ended, or maybe you're a supervisor as well. Because I see these people, there's 3 of them here, and so you may be in that role yourself, and you're all like kind of, or you know, like how a corporation has, like they have a regional manager, then they have like the manager of the store, and then the assistant manager. It's just like that food chain or that hierarchy. And You may feel like they're overstepping their boundaries. And like I said, this person is in the upright position. Now, usually, I would read this very positively as, well, it could be you. I mean, it could be a facet of you where you realize that you are the captain of your ship. Maybe you have felt like you were kind of stuck in this one job and you're like, wait a second, I'm a Leo. What am I doing here? Why am I in this? Because the page obviously it's almost like the child relationship with these are like parental things going on. So you may be treated like you're a child by these people, and you could be their age, maybe you're even older than them, but they're higher ups than you. And you may be saying to yourself, why am I putting myself through this when I'm already a sovereign soul? I don't need somebody telling me what to do. I know how to be a leader, because I see the King of Wands as a great leader. And Leos are known to be great leaders. But, sometimes Leos find themselves in subordinate positions because of just, you can't necessarily start at the top. So you find yourself in that position, and then it's like kind of humiliating, where it's just like you're supposed to kowtow to people, kiss their butts and stuff like that. And you're just you're a very hard worker, you're ambitious, you're proud, and you just want to do a good job. And perhaps there's like these people who have been there so long that they have already established themselves, whether or not they are really up to the qualifications. And you might be able to see through them. And maybe that's what the Page of Swords is that you're very perceptive of what they are really about. And you see them kind of as hacks, as people who are just kind of going through the motions of their job, and you feel that they're not committed to excellence. And they, people like that, they resent a hotshot who's coming in there and showing them up, showing their inferiority in that sense. And you might not be trying to do that, but just every time that you walk into the building, you just automatically do that because you are so superior to them in terms of your work ethic or your, commitment to excellence. And just personally, when I'm dealing with somebody, whether it's customer service or anything related to that, and the person seems very plugged into what they're doing, I always respect that so much, because it's so much more common to to encounter people that are going through the motions and they just don't even care. And I understand that feeling of that. A lot of people would say that's unacceptable. It doesn't matter whether you like your job, you should still do, a good job. And, there's no arguing that, although I do have sympathy for people that don't like what they do. But I think that you're the kind of person that puts your all into it. And you don't like to see people who are being mediocre, in their abilities. So what you can expect in January, we have the Queen of Swords. I've begun to see this card as representing a choice that must be made, and that you might have to override some of your feelings for a more important situation that has to do with looking at your workplace from a logical point of view. And that might even be pragmatic, like, okay, I don't like the circumstance, but I don't have another job lined up, so I'm going to be here and, kind of like almost strategizing. I'm going to be here 6 more months. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. With the Queen of Swords, I mean, if this is somebody in this hierarchy, this person may be an ally in some cases where they are not, they are kind of impartial. They're not like going to just favor somebody. There might be favoritism going on in a certain sense, and you are a bit, that might be what you're documenting, is that you're not being treated the way that you feel you should be treated. And you may have an ally in this Queen of Swords, that she may be like an older woman who is in the position of authority, and she is looking at what is going on logically and deciding whether or not you're getting treated fairly, or you're being somehow, somebody else is being favored over you for some reason. The challenge is the Temperance card. The Temperance card connects to Sagittarius, and I'm even wondering if this is if the King of Wands is connected to Sagittarius, if this is about a Sagittarius person that you're dealing with. If so, if this is a personal relationship, you may be deciding whether or not to stay with this individual. In the challenge position with the Temperance card, there can be an imbalance where you or somebody else is not behaving in a way that is either wise or grounded. So the groundedness refers to the earth, where the angel has one foot on land, and then the water represents the spiritual. And this is where the balance comes in. But if somebody is too far in one direction or the other, they cannot see the forest for the trees. If you are looking at your dilemma, if you call the Queen of Swords, a decision you have to make, you may, like whether or not to stay in a certain workplace, if you just are into the material angle, you may say, no, are you kidding me? I mean, I'm making good money here. Why would I leave, even if it's emotionally wrenching to you, or if you're angry about something? But then if you're too much into the spiritual, you're not like really being practical. And you have to be both. And kind of like the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords is the same. Queen is water and Swords is air, or the intellect. So the mind versus the emotions. You can't ignore one for the other. You can't just be into your emotions, because your emotions are, generated by a lot of factors, and some of it can be, past experiences, but not necessarily, it might not be relevant for your life today. The advice is represented by the King of Pentacles. This can be either going to the CEO or the president of the company, and perhaps the Queen of Swords has that, that connection to this individual, and telling this person what's up so that you can, you're able to kind of like go over the head of your supervisor to get like a fair hearing or issue, or whatever you want to call it, a fair hearing of your issue. The other thing too is to start your own business. In some cases, the universe may be nudging you in that direction. that's why I was saying with the King of Wands, I could see somebody who's like an entrepreneur, who isn't, just dependent on some other job for their livelihood, that can do it themselves. And the outcome is the Queen of, why did I say Queen? Maybe because it's nighttime and I'm spacing out. The High Priestess, the Major Arcana card. And this is about tuning into your higher spirit, your higher self, that part of you that is connected to God at all times, that can give you that wisdom that the world cannot. Because like I said before, that's what the Temperance card is. The angel has one foot in the water. The water is the intuitive part of you. And that can help to guide you when, you're just earthbound and you're just seeing things from the worldly point of view. It can give you an imbalanced message because it only is looking at it from the material perspective. You have a soul that needs to feel fulfilled. Maybe this has something to do with the type of work that is more appropriate for you. With all these swords, it could be intellectual work, teaching, teaching some kind of worldly subject matter, or maybe it's a communication like the media, and you want to be in a healing profession, and that's where you're kind of more attuned to at the moment. So that's what I have for you. And I hope, Leo, that this resonated with you. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. My website is rainamoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.